All right, and
Oof. Oh, that's the TV? Echo, echo, echo.
That's why it's just exciting at the beginning. Or just slide me that remote, would you? That black square remote? Yeah. Oh, look at you, you're so polite.
Well, you don't throw technology unless you're mad at it.
Can you hand that back to the table?
Thank you.
All my candy eating.
I guess so. Just now we should do it, right? You don't have to unmute us because we're permanently muted, right?
Well, we're actually unmuted, but it's not going to do anybody any good.
For those of you who
I've-
subscribe, yeah, the
I've
audio,
emailed her, Mackenzie as well as chatting her, but that's all I can really do.
the audio is working. It's on the YouTube and on TV. The audio is going through, but for folks joining us on Zoom, it's not. So we've let people know. And having said that, it is 7:35. Good evening, everybody. And welcome to our regular Cultural Arts Commission meeting. My name is Daniel Smith. I am the chair of the Cultural Arts Commission. And I will kick this meeting off, as I always do, with a roll call, starting with Marlo.
Present.
And then Tim does not appear to be here. Alicia.
Present.
Monique said that she will not be able to be here. Kelly.
Present.
And Matthew.
Present.
Fantastic. We do have a quorum, so we can actually vote on things. And speaking of voting on things, our first thing on the agenda we actually have to do is approve the meeting minutes. So these will be approving the meeting minutes from the September 10th meeting. Last time we didn't have a quorum, so those meeting documents, the documentation of what we discussed was provided, but we don't have to vote on it. So if anybody has a motion to approve the September 10th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Oh, great. Thank you, Kelly. And does somebody have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Matthew. We will now do a roll call vote to approve the September 10th meeting minutes, starting with Marlo.
Approve.
And then Alicia.
Approve.
And then Kelly.
Approve.
And then Matthew.
Approved.
And I shall also approve, unanimously passing the motion to approve the meeting minutes for the September 10th meeting. Up next, we have public comment. It's been a while since we had any public comment. We do have one person joining us. If anybody has public comment, feel free to raise your hand digitally or physically or shout out.
She can't hear us. But I don't think she's here for public comment. She's, just so everybody knows, in case concern gets, she's on Otter, just on so it's an automatic note-taking device. So I chatted her, but I don't know if she's seen it or not.
She
and then I
can
emailed
have her
her as
TV
well.
on also. But hearing none, we can move over to our actual agenda items, starting off with number one, which is discussing the Phoenix Award nominations. We have an update about the status of those nominations and also some updates from the subcommittee. So I think I'll hand it over to Porter first. You want to just touch base on our fantastic number of nominations?
Yeah, great news. Biggest that I'm aware of. So 13 nominations for 12 individuals. Which is both a blessing and a frustration because now we have to reduce that to 5. So the committee met today. They are aware of the nominations and are able to review them. Historically, the committee has made the decisions, and then that's how the ceremony goes. But I wanted to double check with the board, make sure that's still amenable. Matthew, Kelly, and Monique are on the committee. And we do need to keep this confidential, so that's why I'm not sharing it committee-wide. Not for any nefarious reasons, but because different people have been nominated, and we want to keep it quiet until we're able to announce. So that's where we are, and we met today, and the plan is to continue that process and make recommendations at the very least, or selections if that's okay with the board.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll say right after that, thank you, Matthew and Kelly, for agreeing to participate on that committee.
And you saw we have till Wednesday
Yes.
to review it?
Is it until Wednesday to review, is that?
Yeah, and try it and pick our 5.
Yeah, it's great.
And then
It's great
we'll-
when there's nominations, but it does make it tougher. And in years past, I don't know if you know what the highest number of nominations we've ever received.
I have to go back. I didn't look at everything, but in recent memory, it's usually been 7, 8 max. And so this is a great turnout, which was, I personally did some inviting and nudging, which I'm glad I did, but it's like, oh man, now I wish we had Phoenix Awards every year because we have enough to cover 2 years right now.
So you think probably just by agreement we can approve?
If everybody's agreeable, if anybody's not, please speak up, but if everybody's amenable to that, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I personally think it'd be fine. I trust our 3 committee members to move forward.
Everybody on the list is great, so,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I don't envy the.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree. And then obviously, Porter, you did mention there the idea, like, with this many nominees, wouldn't it be amazing if we could do an actual award ceremony every year? I don't know how long the award ceremony has been happening. I guess it's been happening for a couple decades, a few decades now, and has it always been every other year, or there was a?
Gosh, when did we go to biannual? I have to go back and look. It's been a while because 23 was a ceremony and then COVID messed us up. So COVID adds some time in there because it was, I think 2019 may have been the first of the start of every other year. I have to go back and look. But I mean, I think it's kind of a testament to some really great things happening, not just the Art Commission, but Arts Center, Lawrence Music Alliance. I think that's kind of woken up the music community a little bit so that they're more participatory. So it's like, well, maybe it is time, and that might be a great retreat discussion of, is it time to bring this back to, and figure out how to do that, because the other side of this is the first year we've had $6,000 to pay the artists for the awards, which I think is a reasonable amount, and honestly, it shows the awards are really nice. So that's.
So do they go to every other year because of the funding?
So, yeah, let me explain. Sorry, not everybody's aware. So for years, they had $3,000 each year for that situation. Because we weren't getting a lot of nominations for a while, it was decided, let's go to every other year, and that way we can use the $3,000 specifically for the art.
Sure.
Then that budget got increased kind of accidentally after COVID, which really became a viable amount of money. And so that's what we've been doing. But now we have $6,000 each year. The problem is our funds don't carry over, so we can't hold money and say, we'll just use next year's budget. So that would be one question is, I think in this case, I'm not sure that the Lead Center, with doing it at the Lead Center as part of another event, I don't know if we really need much or any budget. So we might be able to do something like that. But in years past, when we did it at Theater Lawrence, there was some cost to that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm glad that you mentioned the move that we have this year to doing the awards ceremony as part of another event which is already occurring, where we're not having to do all of the logistics and also some of the expenses around hosting our own separate event. So I think that, in conjunction with the fact that we have more money than in the past, definitely makes it seem like, oh, maybe this is something we should do every year. And I will say, for me, looking at the Phoenix Awards from like a regular person on the street kind of standpoint, I think having it every year, the regularity of that, it's a little bit tricky explaining to folks the way it works currently, where the ceremony is one year and then the awards are commissioned the other year. I've definitely, being in this position for a little while, I've talked to quite a few people about the Phoenix Awards, and a lot of folks struggle to get that. And I think if it was annual, it might be easier to keep people engaged with it. And you mentioned that there's a lot of things in the community that have been kind of on the up and up, and especially some from an organizational standpoint. And I think having our acknowledgement and celebration of folks be more regular could help kind of like continue to motivate that. So I definitely personally think awards shows can be something that helps drive people, helps people make feel like the effort they're putting in is recognized and they're appreciated. And so I think it was a good throw forward how you mentioned that this could be a good retreat conversation.
I'll put it on the agenda. And then, if I may just jump ahead to number 2, as you all probably know, we've got the committee that I just mentioned, which should have been up above now that I look at it. The date of the ceremony will be December 14th at 2 p.m. at the Lead Center stage as part of the Inclusive Winter Market. And kudos to Monique and her whole crew, because she's really working out the details behind the scenes on what we're going to do, and I'm helping them as far as what do we need on the stage and that type of thing. So, and we'll have more to report in December, before, which will be only a few days before the actual ceremony. So, it's exciting.
Great. All right, so yeah, items 1 and 2 were both pertaining to the Phoenix Awards. Unless anybody has any further questions or comments, I think we could move to item number 3, which is the 2026 UPI.
Before we go on, could I just ask one thing? Because since our next meeting is not till the 9th, do you need us to support in any way in terms of marketing the event? Like a postcard I know has been done in the past, or an email or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, mail is pretty antiquated. I think we'll go hard with social media.
Okay.
So sharing that, and I would definitely clue you all in if you can share it individually and also institutionally, that would be great, just to get the word out. Definitely do a press release. So we'll handle it that way, and hopefully drive some media attention, and get some good notoriety on that. And then, yeah, it just occurred to me, we've talked about video. How much time?
We have a great videographer at the Art Center. I have not mentioned this to him because I didn't know if people wanted to go that way, but in the past they did the videos about the winners. Chris, I'm thinking of. But, you know, if there's budget for him.
Who are you talking?
His name is Chris Arasso. He's our front desk
Oh, okay.
admin, but he's an incredible videographer as well as
Okay.
photographer. Like, he just had work at the Smithsonian. He's a super talented individual.
I don't think it has to be like super in-depth.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't need to be an Emmy Award level thing, although it's really nice, but something along those lines of just introducing each of the winners. I know there's a lot of cat herding that goes with that too, though.
I think that's the biggest hurdle is
Getting
getting
all the
people-
footage and compiled.
Well, organizing the people's schedules and all of that stuff, and then the editing. But
Well, then we really need to pick, if they're going to do the winners.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the winner, I mean, one is we've gathered a lot of information just via the application process. But whether that's video, viable media content or not is questionable. So can you ask
Yeah.
him if he would be interested?
do we have a budget?
We do.
Okay.
So that would be the next question is what amount of money?
Okay.
So
Yep.
I think knowing that we need somebody quick, we're not going to spend a ton of money,
Of course.
but obviously want to pay for that service. So,
Okay.
yeah, let's explore it. If it can't happen for some reason, that's okay. But it's a nice element, and then a great video opportunity to pluck things out of that to help promote if we have time. So,
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy
Great.
to talk to him about it.
thank you.
All right, great. UPI. This is what we, is there something else before we talk about the?
I get these, there's so many things going on, I keep getting confused about which deadline is which.
Oh, are you just pulling up the, unmistakable public art exhibition?
So, yeah, the Unmistakable Public Art Exhibition is here. And this is our World Cup effort, and I'm just trying to remember when is Monday, November 17th. So this is still open. I know that 4 applications are in, but it's always very common that things show up at the last minute. So that's giving me some good hope. I have had a couple of people presume this was the same old. And one person was actually applying, and I had to let them know. It's like, hang on, you need to read the guidelines because this is different. So if you talk to people, just point out that this is not the same old, but this is actually asking for new work. But I'm excited. I think that's working out pretty well.
I've heard a great buzz about it. Like in the arts community, people are talking about it.
Oh, good.
Ideas.
Good.
Yeah, so there's a
Glad
lot
to
of
hear
good
that.
chatter. Yeah.
I would hope that folks in general are just excited about the fact that if you submit a piece and it gets accepted and it's on Mass Street or anywhere around town, like twice, if not many tens of times the amount of people are going to see it as they normally would, just based on the supposed flood of international visitors we'll have. So it's pretty
And
exciting.
selfies and all the rest. It's kind of almost frightening how much attention anything in this world can get these days. So it's an exciting opportunity and a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a real challenge to generate new work in a short period of time, but
And it speaks to local artists, I think, because it's a higher commission and site-specific. So I think local artists are more compelled to get on this one than maybe past ones.
yeah. We do need to just think about how we want to handle, again, this has usually been reviewed by committee, and then those recommendations are reviewed, brought back to the board. So, and I don't know that we have our public art committee, it's not really still standing.
What was the last time the public art committee, I mean, obviously it would have been last time around, but I'm trying to remember who all was on that. I'm sure we have beautiful meeting minutes we can consult, but I mean, we could take this opportunity to have folks volunteer like we did.
Yeah, I
with
think
the
it's
Phoenix
okay
Board
to,
Committee.
since this is a relatively newly seated board, if there's folks that want to volunteer, has to be no more than three for quorum issues, but
Is this what we did? I felt like last year everyone voted,
So too.
or was able to look at it, and so
Yeah,
is that,
last year everybody.
Or scored.
Like 6 months ago.
It was shared out to everybody, and everybody were down there.
okay,
And then
well, we
had-
can do that.
And we had a whole meeting with a long conversation about it, and it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was difficult.
I'm definitely
It
open
was
to
tough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring it to the next meeting. Okay. That's actually great, because then it's just, everybody sees it and it's done.
Remind me, was the unmistakable public art deadline already passed
No,
for application?
Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Monday is the deadline at 11 PM. Monday night.
Okay. And we have 3 so far?
4 applications are in so far.
And last year, do you remember off the top of your head, did we have 9 last year? Total at the end? I feel like
9 or 10. I think we had like 9 or 10, I think. Wasn't a ton, but it was enough,
yeah.
and it was somewhat competitive.
All right, well, that all sounds good. I think as much as subcommittee meetings can be fun, I think it is actually kind of nice to, at least for the time being, maybe have the one subcommittee for the Phoenix Awards and then continue having everything else be brought to the full body.
I love that you guys are up for the challenge.
Up next on our agenda, item number 4, the Vermont Street Mural RFQ.
That is due on Sunday at 11 PM. And I know that there are 4 applications submitted for that as well. On that one, would you be game to do both at the December meeting? Look at you guys, yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I look at art, I want to look at art.
That's why we're here.
All right, let's do that. We'll plan on that as well and let you guys be the reviewers of that. What I'll do is get those out earlier so you have time before the meeting to review everything and have a good sense of what you think is best and narrow your own selections for that so we can have a more efficient meeting. But that sounds great. Thank you.
It can be a long meeting. This one's going to be short because we have one item left on our agenda, which is talking about 2026 planning, specifically looking at our retreat. Historically, those would sometimes happen in January. So we're looking at a possible date of Sunday, January 11th, 18th, or 25th.
Based on history, the 11th is the one that usually gets that time frame gets hit, but they're all available.
I'm fine with any of those.
I am also fine with any of those, and I think the 11th sounds pretty pleasant, though. I feel like it's closest to our normal meeting time, and so I think that seems like a healthy thing to aim for.
I'm fine with all of them. I would least like the 18th, but I don't technically have anything.
We usually
on
do
that
it
day.
1 to 4 in the afternoon.
And I'm fine with any of them. Doesn't matter.
11th is what I'm hearing?
Let's
All
go
right.
to the 11th. Obviously, we can see if our
Retreat will be the 11th from 1 to 4 at our offices in South Park. And agenda-wise, we've got I'm just thinking that it probably makes sense to go through all of the regular programs, just to kind of touch base on all of them, which would include the Phoenix Awards for any sort of changes or anything. So I'll plan on that. Are there any other agenda items that come to mind that you all want to bring to the table?
I think in years past, we've kind of started things with a quick glance at an average sort of approximation of what the yearly cycle looks like, so that people can kind of like reground themselves. We do this in this part of the year, we do this in this part of the year, and then also just looking over the budget. Hasn't changed in a while, but
Do we need to think about, I don't know that you all need to do this because we're all so busy with various meetings, but World Cup? Is there anything that we need to cover in World Cup as a board? Marlo's heading up help me with the name,
Community Engagement and Cultural Experience Committee.
So there's numerous committees as part of this, and a lot of things happening, including watch parties and potential arts programming, in addition to regular arts programming like Free State Festival and our regular festivals and stuff. So that's happening as part of the Unified Command, which right now is just a lot of meetings, and we wish we had more information.
We could
We
put a
don't know.
bullet point on there, because we
Yeah.
might know more in January.
Well, we can leave it, it's not, if we don't do anything, it's okay, but
Yeah.
I'll put it on there just in case, even if it's just informational.
it could just be like a quick rundown of some of the information. By January, we'll probably know the team.
Yeah.
If there's a team staying in Lawrence, we would probably know who that would be. So I would even be open to, I mean, obviously you're already on the Cultural Arts Commission, but I know that there's other people on the committee with you, and we could invite somebody to come and give some updates, or you could just give them also. Too.
Only thing is, I want to make sure we have time for all our programs. So like sometimes I know if we do a speaker,
It can get-
sometimes that can,
In years past, we've also, I believe we've invited commissioners to stop by.
No, that with changes and everything, that, since you're advising them,
Yeah.
if one commissioner were to show up, that creates a problem. So the meeting is public, and we just have to
That
go
was
that
something
route.
that was done in the past, though, right? I mean, we at least
yeah, like
considered
Lisa
it.
Larson came to one of ours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has happened in the past, but with the new
I'm fine.
structure, we
Yeah.
just want to be careful there and not.
I'm not doing it just on the subject of.
And it would be on Zoom, so if they want to listen in, they could. But yeah, having them as a participant is probably not.
I wonder about like a conversation about how Lawrence fits into the wider arts arena, like with all the changes that are going on, federal funding, state funding, and our place in that. I feel like our programs are so strong, and I'm so grateful, like looking at this agenda and how many wonderful open calls we have for artists and how many places there are to get grant funding within our community. And what a deficit we're having in other areas for humanities and arts in general. So maybe a wider scope outside Lawrence and how we are in comparison to other communities. It's a big topic.
I love it. I don't know how to
I don't
glean
either.
it.
It is a big
Yeah.
topic. I almost wonder if that would be something where if there was like some good materials that existed that somebody else had produced on that. It could be something where it was shared out to the group beforehand to kind of like help us frame our
The
discussion.
Kansas Arts Network is a fairly new organization, and they have some great statistics about Kansas arts funding and national statistics. So, we could share those out as a
Yeah.
point of discussion, but I just like sometimes I think we get a little, I mean, I know our role is insular, like we're municipal advisory board, but having a wider conversation, and I don't know.
I
That
mean,
could be
things that are
interesting.
happening on a national scale, and even just
Yeah.
where we sit in the region, and
Yeah.
how other communities around us are, what they're doing,
Right.
is, even though, yeah, we advise the commissioners here in Lawrence, that being aware of those things is very valuable. I
And
feel
that's why
like.
this stuff is so important that we retain that funding, and so just like because of all those other areas are being reduced, if Lawrence can keep these consistent grant programs and opportunities for artists, I think that's huge.
To me, I feel like if it was presented in the context of like, there's some homework to do, but like some things to read over prior to the meeting, I think that could be a good way, because it could really help people come into the meeting with understanding of like what our goals really are in that 4 hours. But I don't know if you'd want to self-nominate to put together some
Sure, I'm happy
information that
to.
we can look over. I mean, you can always send information, if there's an article or something you think is interesting, you can always send it to Porter and he can share it with the body, but it would be nice for us to kind of walk in the room with a little bit of context for what all we're talking about.
I'm thinking that, is it ESRI, ESRI, has commercial data, and there's a whole category for creative businesses and that. I used to be really into this, and when I first came here in 2015, I was very curious about the whole Metroplex and just I-70 and K-10 from Kansas City to Topeka. And Lawrence has always been identified as a very unique, unmistakable place.
Right.
And I was just wondering, and fortunately, Americans for the Arts stopped doing that research. So we don't have anything current on that. And that's part of the challenge, is nothing's really current except for Arts and Economic Prosperity 6, which they completed recently, which we weren't able to participate in because of COVID, just shifting data and that kind of thing. But anyway, I think, I don't know if that can be gleaned through GIS, but it's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
I wonder about that, and then I wonder about, like, there's might be an opportunity next year with World Cup affecting TGT, so the $2026 opening up some opportunities for additional funding in 2027. So maybe generating some of those conversations and what our ideas might be, like how things could be, to make use of that influx in our economy.
Yeah. I think it makes a lot of sense. In 2027, if we wanted to, with assuming there is a higher than average amount of TGT funds, we could have the opportunity to do something special with that.
And reminder that you would advise this commission as to
Of course, yeah.
those opportunities. I also know we do have to build reserve, because post-COVID, we
Yeah.
didn't have the reserves that we needed, and we do need to do that as well. So that's part of this additional funding, is to make up lost funding. Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, let me look into that, and if you can do research and
Yeah.
could even look at the Arts and Economic Prosperity, but I don't know if anybody close participated. I don't know if Arts KC participated, but that would be the 5-county area in the metro. So anyway, okay.
Be interesting.
Yeah, no, you're right, and actually, we haven't talked about it in a long time.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, just like a wider.
Yeah,
More.
we need to remember that we have to be able to articulate that side of the argument, so good point.
I will say also, since I served on the committee, one of the things that Dr. Nalbandian and I discussed during the committee was that it would be nice to try and have this group and the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board have like some sort of intentional contact every year, since, I think it would be beneficial for both of us to see each other as like a true partner in what we want to see happen in the community. So that is something which we talked about, and I probably brought it up at least a couple times, but I'll keep bringing it up because that's the only way I know how to make sure eventually somebody actually maybe does something with that.
And along those lines, I feel like we haven't touched upon the strategic plan or that cultural Parks and Rec plan. So maybe a revisit of it and seeing if there's anything there to inspire us. I don't know.
Yeah, the master plan is
Master
something
plan.
that's high on our list too, because with budget challenges, we weren't really able to get to that as much as we wanted to. Things are a little delayed because the new director won't be seated until after the new city manager is seated. So those, there's a time issue of when these things will be appropriate, but certainly I think it's good to keep it on the radar. And I know the Parks Board met Monday, and, the membership situation has been a challenge for them, so.
How many members do they have right now?
No, I meant the membership.
Oh, the membership.
The new
Okay.
membership
Hey,
thing
membership
situation.
board.
And the whole budget
Yeah,
thing was
yeah.
really, really hard. So anyway, they're still trying to sort of navigate where they are with things too, and they actually have at least one empty seat. And that won't be filled until after the new mayor's seated, so. Various things happening. But anyway, no, I got it, and I'll definitely bring it up with our staff to say, hey, is there an opportunity, and when would be a good time to do that? And even, to your point, just go through the master plan and all the recommendations.
Yeah, like if there's something to glean from that,
Yeah.
I could even see it be something where if there's a month where just coincidentally both this body and the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board don't have a ton on the agenda, we could do a sort of combined summit where we focus on those things. That'd be worthwhile. And probably a real headache for Porter and staff to coordinate.
When you say summit, I'm thinking, should we do it in Paris or?
sounds good.
So tentatively, January 11th, 1 to 4 o'clock at the Parks and Recreation Building in South Park will be our retreat. We'll see if Tim and Monique, if that works for them. That's the last thing we have on our agenda. It is 8:05. We're ahead of schedule, which is great because apparently our December 10th meeting will be pretty jam-packed full of stuff. But there is one last thing we always discuss, which is et cetera. What do we call it? Other things. Miscellaneous. There it is. So this is the time where anything that you feel like we should have been mentioned, that wasn't mentioned, you can shout that out. If there's something you want to plug, something you're involved in, which is cool, or that you are excited about, that you want to let people know about, or something that you recently saw or experienced that is arts and culture related that you want to gush about, now is the time to do so.
I missed the last meeting because I was at a choir concert and I had the opportunity to see the Free State High School choir, and they are good. Not like good for a high school choir. They are legit, really, really good. It's been a while since I've been to high school choir concerts, but I was absolutely blown away. The other thing I'd add too, I was in Philadelphia last week. If you guys like public art, particularly murals, I mean, it was every other building. I did this big 6-mile loop and must have seen 20, 30 different murals. It was amazing. I was kind of unexpected, but I was like, I could just do this all day, and kind of did.
There's a couple of great murals in DeSoto, too. I hadn't driven through their little tiny old, and I was like, wow, there's 2 of them. And they're so beautiful. It's like, that's amazing. Cassidy just got commissioned to do another, I think it's a cover, but it might be a story, for Kansas Magazine. This is like the third, so, yep.
Cool.
Yep.
That's great.
So that's cool.
The Art Center recently received a grant with Hang 12. Alicia's helming up, but it's a collaboration with the parking garage right across from the Art Center. So doing some really beautiful paintings to give that area some life. It has that gorgeous mural already by Mona Cliff, and so this would be a complement to that with native plants and birds. But
Yeah.
you're doing an amazing job on that.
They're doing,
Cool.
I think, close to 30 designs.
Wow.
Cool.
We have half done. Not painted, but designed.
Cool. No, that's a
How neat.
big part of the process.
Yeah.
I'm trying to recall what exactly has happened between this meeting and our last meeting. I think last meeting when it was just the 3 of us, I think I referenced or I gave a shout out for the art show that was going to be at Tim's Bank. And then I think it was just a few days after our last meeting. And then I went to it. I saw Porter there. It was great. Every show they have at Tim's Bank is great.
They really do.
He always is in here telling people to go check him out and talking about how incredible the artist is. But he's not lying.
Yeah, her stuff is really cool.
Is it Teresa
Um,
Woodcutter?
No,
Was it Teresa? Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, they're.
Is that
They are.
like a lot of
Of woodcuts,
woodcut prints,
of
yes.
faces and.
Really impressive
She's very
body of work.
prolific.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, the sheer amount was really, I don't know how many.
And then she brought a ceramic artist who had some stuff in the window as well. I didn't, I drive by there all the time, and I just didn't realize how big that space is.
It's huge.
And so I was talking to Tim, like, I know a few artists that do some big work that would be pretty cool in here. So, yeah, I'm really admire his commitment and what he's doing there. And hearing him talk about, I mean, I've worked in office situations where there was a lot of art, because we, like the Regional Arts Commission in St. Louis, we just had a lot of art, but we had other corporate entities in that building. And they took it for granted, but at one point we had to take it all down. We were shifting some things around. And so while these people took all this for granted, when it came down,
Yeah.
we got immediate, where's the art? So, I think it's a interesting phenomenon that those of us that work in the field are used to it being around, but a lot of people, it's not as familiar, but then it becomes familiar. And they miss it when it's gone, which is really very sweet. And he said the same thing. He said, the people in the bank really like having this. So it's very cool.
Is there any talk with the City Hall renovations of art being in City Hall? Or the too preliminary?
Let me just say there's no talk of City Hall renovation. I actually just saw, so they did the Hiratsuka trip recently, a delegation, and they had pictures. They have a city museum in Hiratsuka, which is just really very nice. 2 massive unicorn ceramic sculptures, I mean, huge, right in the lobby. I'm like, somebody said, would you like those in our lobby? I said, I would, but they won't fit. But no, so someday we hope that could happen. And the idea of a public art ordinance is in the master plan, so
Yeah.
food for thought.
Marla, was the ribbon cutting, was that since our last meeting also? The ribbon
It
cutting
was
of the video?
since we talked about it at the September meeting. Our small
we did?
Group,
Okay.
yes.
All right, great. Does anybody else have anything else? I will say, my band has a show this Saturday. I looked it up on my phone. This Saturday, 8 o'clock at Skate Bar, where the band Mace Mouth is having an EP release, and so we're supporting them. We haven't played a show in, I think, a year. So we had band practice this past week, and all of my electronic devices still turn on. It was not a guarantee. Doing that. Unless anybody has anything else, it is 8:11. We can end this meeting a little bit early. All right, hearing none, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Matthew, and can I get a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Kelly. I will now do a roll call starting with Marlo.
Approved.
And Alicia.
Approved.
And then Kelly.
Approved.
And then Matthew.
Approved.
And I shall also approve adjourning this regular Cultural Arts Commission meeting. Thank you all for being here and volunteering your time. Thank you, Porter, as always. Thank you, Kurt, over in the corner, for doing so much to make all this work. Thank you for everybody watching at home, and we will see you next time.